When I was in the second grade, I asked my teacher, Cindy Bridges, how far it was to Dallas. And she said, well, it's about 300 miles, it's 5 hours, why do you want to know? And I said, I'm going to marry Roger Staubach. Miss Bridges called the local paper and they came and they wrote a story on me about being the Cowboys' youngest fan. And I still have it framed up on my wall now. And in that story, I mentioned that my lifelong goal was to cover the Dallas Cowboys. You know, I didn't know that girls didn't cover football. I didn't know that it was a male job and only a male job. And I don't know that it really mattered either. There are a lot of things that made A&M the perfect place for me. It was all those liberal arts classes that were my favorite classes because that's what I was going to do. I got to Texas A&M in the fall of 1982. I didn't know that, there weren't many women who worked in the sports department at the battalion. Again, it's just something that I wanted to do, and so I found a way to do it. I just remember the excitement when I joined the battalion staff in the fall of 1983 and got to cover my first game, and it was Texas Tech and A&M. It was a great learning ground for us to make our mistakes and do some great things, and it was a little of everything, which you need in journalism. 1994 was my first season covering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and my first season covering the NFL. 1999, I left Tampa and came and started working for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram back in Texas, and worked for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram for 17 seasons, covering the Cowboys, covering the NFL, and now work for Pro Football Talk and NBC Sports. And we have a TV show, PFT PM, which is on every afternoon on Peacock. The Texans, I think, will win as many games as they did last season. That's 4. They're better coached than they were last year. And on top of that,
the 2018 Dick McCann Award winner goes to this person who's covered 24 Super Bowls and 7 Olympic Games. 25th season of NFL coverage, second at Pro Football Talk. Put your hands together for the 2018 Dick McCann Award winner, Charean Williams.
I never made a tackle or a block or threw or caught a touchdown pass, but my love for the game is as deep as any man who donned the uniform or paced the sideline.
if I hadn't done some of the things that I've done and been the first to do, somebody else would have done them. But I hope by me accomplishing some of the things that I've accomplished and setting some of the first that I've set, that it makes things easier for women who come after me. I hope in some way I've led to the who's next question instead of the who's first question. I give back to the College of Liberal Arts because it did so much for me. So if I can help somebody else who wants to do this get where I am, I want to do that. It turned out to be one of the greatest things that's ever happened in my life is coming to A&M. I think it made me who I am as a journalist. And I think I'm pretty good at what I do because I came to Texas A&M.